Hey, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the potential health benefits of the green leaf, that is Kratom. The reason why I wanted to make this video talking about some of our favorite green leaves is that I think it's quite an interesting topic. I live in Thailand, I have done for the past few years, and recently Kratom was decriminalised, and it's a very interesting plant that has a lot of potential health benefits that are sort of still being looked into and still being researched. So it's quite an interesting topic to discuss. I've made a couple of videos on this channel about Kratom before and they seem quite popular. So I thought in this video we could talk exclusively about some of the potential health benefits of Kratom. Just to give you a little bit of background information on the plant itself in case you're not that familiar with Kratom. Kratom is an evergreen plant in the coffee plant family that's native to Southeast Asia. Now, people in Southeast Asia have been using this plant as medicine for a long time. It has a deep history in Thailand and Indonesia, and I'm sure some other countries in Southeast Asia. As we mentioned, Kratom is in the same plant family as the coffee plant, so it does have a similar effect in small doses, that is. It is a slight stimulant similar to that of caffeine. And it has traditionally been used as a little morning stimulant for a long time in this part of the world. It's very common, or it has been throughout history, for people who work labor jobs, people who work as farmers who are out doing manual labor all day, oftentimes will take some Kratom leaf with them as a little stimulant. But the use of Kratom wasn't limited to just people working, as its effects and health benefits are much further reaching than simply just a small stimulant. And that's what we'll get into in this video. The active ingredients in the Kratom plant are mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. And those alkaloids interact with the body's opioid receptors. So there's a very brief overview of what Kratom is and its active ingredients. But let's talk specifically about some of the potential health benefits, as is the title of this video. So the first potential benefit of Kratom is pain management. As we mentioned, the active ingredients of Kratom interact with the opioid receptors of the human body, and that is where some of its effects come from. And as I'm sure you can imagine, that sounds a lot like certain other drugs that are used for pain management. And Kratom could be a natural pain reliever. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence to suggest that taking Kratom can help people with chronic pain. And there are people online who have used Kratom for this purpose and say that it is effective in pain management. In fact, one of the biggest internet personalities in the world, possibly Joe Rogan, there is a clip of him online talking about how he was taking Kratom to help him overcome an injury or help him manage the pain that has come from an injury.
Worst environment. I was on this discussion about Kratom. Are you familiar with this?
I'm on it right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just took some. I fucked my knee up the other day. I did something, and it's been stiff and painful, so I iced it before I came here, and then I just took 6 of them. See what happens.
Wow.
I took 10 once. Oof.
10
10
1-gram
pills?
capsules?
Yeah.
And endorsements really don't get much bigger than that, especially in the health and fitness world. Another potential benefit, and something that I have actually experienced slightly myself from experimenting with the Kratom plant, is mood enhancement and anxiety relief. Once again, there are plenty of anecdotal references online of people who say that they use Kratom to help them with their anxiety and mood enhancement. And this is something that I've actually felt myself when trying some Kratom or some Kratom tea. I did notice my mood shifted, as you would expect from taking something with these kinds of properties. This, like many other things, many other pharmaceuticals on the market, does seem to have mood enhancing properties which could have potential benefits, especially if the risks are much lower than some of the other pharmaceutical options out there, which they potentially are. Obviously, more research is needed on this topic, but yeah, mood enhancement and anxiety relief are also some of the said potential benefits of Kratom. The next benefit is probably most famously known, and that is a potential benefit of energy and focus that you can get from Kratom. So the first time, or the first use case I heard of for Kratom, was actually people talking about how they use it as a pre-workout pick-me-up. So instead of taking a coffee or some caffeine, people would take some Kratom powder, make a drink, or take the capsules and use Kratom as something that would get them in the right mood, get their energy levels ready for a extensive workout. In fact, that is what I believe it is often marketed as in the States. I believe that there are a lot of sort of those health or fitness shops selling Kratom powder or selling Kratom capsules as a kind of pre-workout pick-me-up. Historically as well, this was always something that was kind of well known or believed to be true, like we mentioned earlier in this video. Kratom historically was very popular in specific regions of Southeast Asia where there is a lot of farming and agricultural work. Oftentimes farmers would take, a few Kratom leaves while they walk out and tend to their crops. So it has always been seen as a little stimulant, like when it's taken in small doses by, for example, chewing the leaves, as many people do down here. But it's not only farmers. I've seen construction workers who will take their Kratom leaves along with their packed lunch to work. So it is very well known as being a stimulant and a little pick-me-up, similar to taking a coffee break. Finally, I wanted to talk about probably one of the most impressive and probably one of the most promising potential benefits of the Kratom plant, and that would be helping people recover from addiction. So apparently Kratom, or there are suggestions that there are studies that suggest that Kratom is very useful for people suffering from certain withdrawal symptoms. So people who are trying to get off pain medication, people who become addicted to pain medication and are trying to get off those pills have been able to turn to Kratom, and it has helped them relieve those withdrawal symptoms and made that transition from taking painkillers or certain other drugs to help them on their way to becoming sober by reducing the withdrawal symptoms. And it's not only people who are addicted to things like morphine or heroin or painkillers, but also people who are recovering alcoholics. Supposedly, once again, there are suggestions online that Kratom can really help ease those withdrawal symptoms and make sobriety or the journey to sobriety a little bit better, a little bit easier to manage. So I think in the world of Kratom, there are a lot of things to potentially be optimistic about. There are a lot of things that are being discovered about this plant that do seem extremely interesting and extremely useful. Now, I do want to stress that I'm not encouraging any of you to take Kratom or to try Kratom. I just find this topic interesting. I'm not a medical person myself. I've just found myself in Southeast Asia, in an area where Kratom is native, and I do find that very fascinating. And I've had some good feedback on some of the other videos that I've made about the topic. So that's why I'm continuing to talk about Kratom for now. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found it interesting. I hope perhaps if Kratom is something that you are considering, maybe you do go and do further research into the drug, speak to a medical profession and all that kind of stuff. But that is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.